Hello, and welcome to Bunk Book, the Bunk Original, where you get to know the podcaster behind your favorite shows. My name is Neil, and tonight's guest is a baker, frustrated calligrapher, wanderer, and, in her own words, a fat cook. Please welcome Mel. Hello.
Hi, hi. I'm so happy
Gusto
to
ko
be
yung fat
here.
cook.
Yes, because my Lola always said that you should never trust a skinny cook, because they won't even
Oh,
eat their own food.
that's
So,
true.
hey,
Mel, you are one of the hosts of the Balut Kiki Project. Can you tell
yes,
us what your show is about?
sure. It is a show of four friends who talk about mental health, human sexuality, gender identity, um, and everything in between. I would say we like to use that because it really encompasses a lot of things. Parang anything related to mental health, to sex and such sexuality, we talk about. Some are more serious than others, some are more fun.
Okay, I love that that's how you explained it. I
Yeah.
understand that completely. But this time, I'm going to ask you the same question, but explain it to me like I'm five. So, Tita Mel, what is Balut Kiki about?
Kunwari, yung pototoy, what is that for? And you're five, and we will explain. Or where are
Oh.
children from? Where do kids come from? We will explain.
I love that. I love that. Now, how did the Balut Kiki project start? How did you guys get started?
Actually, this was um, Jeff and I, one of the co-hosts. We conceptualized this during COVID. This was our COVID baby. We we're still in different countries, but we've been friends for a really long time. And then we were just catching up, and we started talking about obviously how we were, and he shared that he was struggling with his mental health,
Mm,
and he had attempted to commit suicide. And so obviously it's a very serious conversation.
mm,
And I told him that I was going through the same thing, and I had also attempted to unalive myself.
oh my
And
gosh.
we realized that it was a really good conversation because we realized that we weren't alone. This was in 2020. Yeah. We realized that we were alone, and then we also thought like, wait a minute. Um in a in your circle of influence, you have something that repeats. Therefore, it's not very uncommon
Mm,
that people have struggles. So we thought that maybe it's good to get our stories out there. And also, na if there are others who are struggling, we can help. Or at least they know that they're not struggling by themselves. We describe this as like um, going through a dark tunnel, pitch black, and you don't know the end, where the end is. There's no light at the end of the tunnel, or maybe you feel that light is an oncoming train. And
mm.
then you're finding your way, and then you chanced upon someone's hand, and you realize you're not by yourself. And you're hoping hindi ka papatayin ng hand na yun. Pero, alam
Hindi
mo
siya
yun, you're
killer,
going through this,
ganyan.
oh, hindi siya killer. But then you're hoping that then you're going through this, you're no longer alone. And there's a bit of comfort in that. In that, when I say, Jeff, I'm struggling, or when he tells me he's struggling, he's had a bad day, I understand what that means.
Mm,
Not just being empathetic because a bad day, but because I've gone through, not exact no no two experiences are the same,
mm,
but having the same experience of being at the precipice of giving up, actually already have given up. um it we felt less alone, so we started talking about this, and then we had no clue, like, what the heck is this?
Mm.
As in, alam mo yung ugat sa noo, nagpa-pulse. Kasi trying to
Mm.
figure out how to like edit audio and things like that. Parang, ano, what am I doing? What am I doing really? Um, but yeah, so that's how it started. And um,
Ang ganda. Ang ganda ng kwento.
it's really it's been so helpful for us. At some
Yeah.
points, it kept us alive because
Mm.
parang alam mo yun, we have something to look forward to. We're responsible for something, and at the
Mm.
same time, we're learning from our guests. Um, there's like one of the guests that we had was is still very impactful to me. A year after,
Mm. Well, I think that as a listener of Balut Kiki Project myself, I totally get
oh,
that
thank
tunnel
you.
thing. Kasi parang um sometimes you're especially in 2020, like we were all like
Yeah,
cooped up in our homes, diba? And it really just drove a lot of us to madness. And the idea that there was somebody else out there, no matter where they are in the world, feeling the same way,
yeah.
going through the same things, it really did feel like, oh, someone's there. And ang creepy pakinggan, pero feeling ko friends tayong lima. I'm
Oh,
the
na,
nakikisagot ako sa inyo minsan, ganyan.
totoo, totoo. I mean, I know that my description sounds like it's such a heavy show.
But it's not
It's
eh.
not. There, of course, there are episodes that are quite heavy.
Yeah.
Oh God knows, I've cried so many times. Ako yung crier sa aming apat, as in crier, nakakapikon. Kasi mangungungo na naman ako, tapos maririnig mo
Oo.
ako sumisinghot and things. But marami ring fun episodes. So it's not
Mm,
all heavy. Kasi sabi ko nga, edi lalo tayong na-depress kung we're always talking
mm.
about that sinking feeling. So we have a
I think
lot
it's
of
just
fun
that
episodes
maturity
also.
that comes with the four of you na parang, okay, there is may lalim tong pinag-uusapan natin, but there's also room for laughter in it. And so I think
Yeah.
that's what I love about that.
Well, thank you. We try not to
Now,
take ourselves too seriously, to be honest. And I think you'll find us now, you'll find yung mga recent shows namin are more fun. Because I think that reflects, I was thinking about this today. I think it reflects our state of mind as well. That
mm,
we're getting better because we're getting the support that we need. So,
we're not completely out of the woods yet, but it's not as
yeah,
dark.
yeah, yeah. We'll have our bad days, but for the most part, it's not as bad as when we started.
Totoo. And the
Yeah.
quick Kiki episodes, they're little snacks, and I
Yeah.
just how it's the perfect um cardio companion. Kasi light siya,
That's
pero
true.
also matawa-tawa ka na lang diyan,
Oh, your
ganyan.
warm up.
Mhm. Okay, you mentioned to me that there are some guests that hindi mo nakalimutan. What are your most
Yeah.
memorable moments in the Balut Kiki project?
The first one that comes to mind is a therapist. She deals with um, people who self harm, and I will admit that I self used to self harm regularly. So I used to cut myself, um, and so that episode was so raw. For me, it was like a public therapy session. As in, it was I bared myself to the therapist, and she helped me come to terms with what I was doing and what was driving that behavior. And there was a question. She said, "How do you feel?" And I said, "I feel like the situation is getting out of hand." And she said, "That's not a feeling. How do you feel?" Because I kept answering, and she kept telling me that's not a feeling. A feeling is anger, fear. And then I realized I couldn't describe how I felt. And for the longest time, I wasn't describing how I felt. I was always describing the situation.
Oh my
Therefore,
gosh.
hindi ko ma-address yung sarili ko because I couldn't even identify how I felt.
Hmm.
And then when she said that first you have to identify your feelings. So, are you angry? Are you angry that blah 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 blah? Or are you afraid? Blah blah blah. And then parang only then can you start to really understand how something impacts you. And then
Mm-mm.
it took me like 2 or 3 days to really process what we talked about.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I'll tell Jeff, I text him like, I'm still chewing on this episode. Real,
Mm.
ano na, he was already editing and all. But like for me, because ako yung naging subject, ako yung subject, and then it was like a, yun na nga, like a therapy session. Parang namulat ang aking mga mata. And to be honest, since then, I've not self-harmed. I'm not saying, a one-time session is all you need. But for me, personally, it helped me because I could identify now how I felt. Imagine a
Mm-mm.
grown person can't differentiate what a feeling is versus describing a situation. Diba? How do you
I
feel
think
this?
ang amazing nung epiphany na yun because it's not something that you would normally like pick up on, 'di ba? Because if somebody says, "How
Yeah,
do you feel?" nga, you end up describing the situation, but you're right, naming the
yeah,
feeling is an important step in
yeah. How do you feel?
acknowledging
Ang
it.
init. That's not that's temperature. How do you feel? You're annoyed kasi mainit,
Ang galing.
'di ba? So and she said it's very common that we m- we cannot identify. We don't identify the actual feeling kasi yun yung
Mm.
impact sa atin. So that was a really really good episode. And 1 year
Well,
later, I still think about it.
we're still chewing on it, 'di ba?
Yeah, exactly,
This is the chewing
exactly.
gum episode.
Oo,
The
walang-wala na yung
tuwalya.
lasa. Tuwalya o
Well,
makunat na baka.
alam mo ang iniisip ko, a lot of Filipinos do not feel safe seeking
Yeah,
help or seeking a therapist. And so
yeah,
I'd like to think that somebody who listened to that episode would feel like, my God, natulungan niya si Mel and maybe I can get help too. Because that's really how it feels sometimes. Like you have your fun episodes, definitely, but then there are the really heavy ones, and you guys aren't
yeah,
shy. You don't shy away from those topics.
yeah,
So I love that you're opening that door for some people to get help for themselves.
yeah. And then that was really what one of the main things that we wanted because
Mm.
if you don't know that you can get help or that there's help available, then you won't even look for help, 'di ba? And
Mm-mm.
I'm lucky that in my family we have a doctor. So my tita was the one who suggested that I actually see a psychiatrist.
Mm.
And when what triggered that was my difficulty in sleeping. So
Mm.
noong una, um, I would take Benadryl kasi it makes you sleepy eh.
The
So I'll take
antihistamine.
Benadryl, 'di ba, to help me sleep. But then after 3 or 4 hours, gising na ako. So I
Mm.
was really struggling because I wasn't sleeping. Tapos sabi ng tita ko, ano, how are you at work? Ganyan. Sabi ko, okay lang, stress, blah, blah, blah. Normal.
Mm.
And then, eventually, she said, I think you should go see a psychiatrist. And then when I went, parang unpack. Yung mga baol na nilibing mo
Mm.
lahat. Tapos may psychiatrist in the Philippines. She's a, I would, sorry, not the word old. But she's like a
She's
mom. She's,
seasoned.
yeah, and wise. And she said, she's probably the same age as my mom, ganyan.
Mm.
So, and she was very motherly. So parang she said, oh, what are you here for? Where do you want to start? I didn't even know her. Tapos biglang, and then, nagulat ako parang, tapos next thing I know, she's trying to shoo me away kasi tapos na yung 1 hour namin. Tapos naisip ko, ha?
Oh.
Tapos sabi ko, that was already alam mo when you're in the thick of things, hindi mo mapansin at the time,
Mm.
just really, really passes. So anyway,
Mm.
that's how it got started. Because sometimes you don't, because we're not trained to see the symptoms,
Correct.
then yun, hindi katulad ng sipon, we all know,
Mm.
'di ba? Pero
Bayad ano, inom
struggles
lang
with
ng
mental
gamot.
health, yeah,
Mm.
struggles with mental health, hindi natin kita lahat yun, or yeah, we don't know what the symptoms are. So, I'm lucky, and we know that not everyone has that opportunity. So yeah, it's good that we really want people to know that there is help out there,
Mm.
whether online or face to face, para they know that they can get help.
I love that. And I think that's what makes the Balut Kiki project so special. It's because
Thank
it
you.
doesn't shy away from topics like that. Now, I am a listener, but if and somebody who has never listened to Balut Kiki were to listen to you guys right now, what can they expect to hear?
Okay. So our recent episodes now are the fun bits. We've, like you mentioned, we have our quick kikis, which is like a 10-minute chika, um of something that what we noticed, we saw on the news, or what's
Mhm.
going on, or even like quizzes, sex quiz.
Right.
Who knew those things? Who does those studies anyway to find out? Um, we but our more recent episodes are more fun.
Mm,
And then if you look at our library, we have a bit more educational topics as well.
mm,
We delve into the foray of sexuality. So we talked
mm,
about um, we talked about BDSM. We talked about polyamory, and now I
mm,
know like that episode on polyamory is a huge opener because polyamory is not about sex. It's about
mm,
loving, and you love your friends, you love your best friend, and it's all part of of our life, and it was such a big eye opener kasi parang, oh, if you think about anything with the word poly, inisip mo agad na swingers and just kahit sino-sino lang, but you don't realize na it's not that. So
mm.
we have a very popular episode until now, Tamod.
Oh no.
um So yeah, it's a wide range. We will take you through a roller coaster of tears,
Mm.
laughters, and sometimes you'll go, huh, ganun pala yun.
Huh. Pwede
Huh,
pala yun.
pwede pala yun. Yes. May ganun pala. Yeah. It's a roller
Well,
coaster ride.
it's a roller coaster ride that a lot of people love and enjoy. And in fact, we compiled some reviews and reactions about your show, and we are going to read them for you right now and
Oh
see what
my
you think.
gosh.
Parang hindi to mean tweets, so mag-alala. Okay. This first one is Wowie D'Angelo, and he wrote this on Podchaser. This is my new listening partner. Pag traffic, I love it, guys. So what can you
Yes.
say? Pang traffic daw kayo.
Well, actually, to be fair, you do need entertainment pag traffic. Totoo naman. Totoo naman yon. And
Mm.
our shows are about an hour long. So
Mm.
pwede, yeah, pwede.
Yeah, yeah.
Pwede
Pwede rin
commute.
commute.
Oo, pwede habang nakaupo ka. Yeah, pwede.
Ah.
Tsaka hindi siya pala isipan. So if you're driving, you don't need to focus on anything. You can hindi ka madi-distract.
Mhm.
I'd like to think.
Okay, that's a good point. And another review that you received on Podchaser is from Blue Seki. I hope I'm saying this right. They said, don't usually leave reviews, but I take exception in this case. This is a nice venture to help Pinoys come to terms with these realities like mental health, acceptance towards LGBT, etc. And you guys discuss it in an intelligent way that is not demeaning and yet very educational. Keep up the good work. We'll look forward to the other episodes. What can you say about that? Ang
Oh,
bigat nung ano
thank
ah.
you. Thank you.
Intelligent way.
I know, parang nakaka-pressure tuloy na everything has to be. But we do try kasi yung yung gusto talaga namin gawin is it's educational that we all learn, and we do. Kahit kami, we learn new things through this
Hmm.
show. Na kaya nga I said na some episodes you go, huh, ganun pala yun? Or pwede pala yun? Ganon. And so, thank you that parang kumbaga what we're trying to do comes out, excuse me, na ganun nga yung kinakalabasan, that it matches
Mm.
what the perception is.
The
Tama ba?
intention and the
Yung grammar ko.
perception
Yes, yes,
match.
ayun, thank you.
I love it. Okay.
Struggle.
This one is from Joey Caslon on Apple Podcasts. Ang bago kong kasama sa paglilinis ng bahay at sa train. I don't think naglilinis siya
Yes.
ng train, pero
Yeah.
pag nasa train siya. The camaraderie of the hosts are genuine and the energy is infectious. Laugh out loud sa mga kwelang banat. Somehow, there's always something to take away from every episode. Hindi nakakahiyang isuggest sa mga barkada kasi lahat sila they end up loving it too. May fan base kayo dito sa New York. Love, love, love this podcast.
Wow, thank
Wow.
you. Naaliw ako dun sa ano, sa mga banat. Kasi totoo naman, Jeff and Neil are very, very funny people.
Mm,
So even kahit yung internal like mga meetings namin and all, it's always so funny. And I like being with them. And we like obviously we won't be doing this together if we didn't like each other's company.
mm-mm.
But I think it also helps that we all of us have known each other for quite a while. So like sila
That
Jeff and
that
sila
love shines
Neil,
through.
and the familiarity,
Mm,
'di ba? So merong mga shared experiences from ages past.
mm,
Kasi Kasi yun na nga, like sila Neil, Jeff, and Peter, they've known each other from high school yata or even
mm,
younger. And then me and Jeff, we've known each other since college. I came out to
mm.
him.
Oh. And I think that's what I loved about it. Napansin ko sa kanya na parang yeah, you guys have known each other for a long time, but it doesn't feel like I'm excluded from it.
Yeah.
Parang
Oh,
you
that's
you
good.
make you exert effort na parang okay, we've known each other for a while and these are our private jokes, but here are the jokes too. We're sharing it with you. So
Mm.
very hindi kayo madamot
Oh,
sa
thank
love that you show
you.
for each other. Oh my gosh. Sorry, nagagash ako as a fan, but I should be more professional.
Blushy blush.
Okay, I have one last review for you. This is from
Okay.
McCoy731 on Apple Podcasts. Amazingly courageous podcast. I absolutely love it. They're very brave in discussing difficult topics like mental health and sexuality with honesty. Coming from a conservative country and society, sometimes these topics are swept under the rug. Well, this podcast looks under the rug, pulls that dirty little secret out that we try to hide away, and they talk about it openly. It's time to click play and join this Kiki. Oh my god.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what? Out of the four of us, ako yung pinaka my struggle in terms of being conservative. So there are still things that I struggle to talk about. And then I have to
Mm,
remind myself, wait a minute, this is exactly what we're trying to do.
mm,
Because there's nothing wrong about talking about these things. So why are you ashamed? So for example, for since last year, Jeff has been asking me to do a lesbian episode.
mhm,
So it'll be my girlfriend and myself. Tapos sabi ni Jeff, sila yung gagawa ng questions. Tapos sabi ko, I'm stressed. Stressed na ako kasi ano yung mga tatanong nila. And then mga, oh my gosh, stuff in the bedroom. Mga gano'n na parang, oh my God, I can't.
oh.
Tapos, my girlfriend naman, she's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Because she does sex ed. She used to do sex ed. So parang it's normal really for her it's really normal conversation. So I say for me we're all learning in the process.
Mm,
And we're not where you want to be, but we're trying to move to that direction together.
I love
Which
that.
is really
And
good. So thank you. Thank you for agreeing that we should be talking about these things. Because we know that it can be in your face sometimes.
now you said kanina that you're the more reserved of the four, but I hope you'll indulge us when we say we'd love to get to know Mel behind the microphone. What do you do in real life?
So currently, I am in between jobs. So I just finished my master's. So
Congrats.
oh, thank you, thank you. I'm so pleased. yung ano, yung syempre yung in any endeavor naman, 'di ba? We put in effort.
Mm.
Pero kasi matagal na akong wala sa school. So yung learning muscles ng brain mo hindi na na-exercise. So
Humihina na.
oo. So, yes, I thank you. I recently graduated from my master's. So I'm in the process of looking for a job.
Anong field 'to? Like,
Um,
what did you study?
so I studied managing, basically IT, managing IT
Wow.
and in innovation. So it's not,
I would not have guessed that. I would have thought like some sociology course or something.
you know what? If I take like mga personality tests, I shouldn't be in the field that I am, really.
Oh,
Because I'm an INFP, for those who
okay.
take the Myers-Briggs.
Yes.
My based on that personality type, I should be in humanities and
You were the
sociology.
shyest, right? Because that's
Yeah,
intuitive. Sorry, introverted,
feeling,
intuitive, feeling, perceiving.
yeah, perceiving.
So talagang kayo yung rabbits of the of the
Yeah,
16, 'di
tsaka
ba?
we make decisions based on our feelings and
Wow.
emotions.
Versus
Um,
like IT, which is very logic, ones and zeros
yeah, I
kind of, 'di
know.
ba?
I
Wow.
know. So it's so different from my paano ba? Your preferred versus the outward. But yeah, if I based on my personality type, it should be like some sociology, humanities, so like a counselor, a teacher, social worker, very nurturing, and very emotional
Parang
roles.
I would disagree with teacher because right now you have black hair, but as far as I remember from our conversations on Telegram, you have pink hair there, and from what
Yeah.
I understand, you've also had your fair share of blonde moments.
Yeah, actually, funny.
Tell us about this
To be
special dinner.
to be fair, alam mo, if you talk to my friends, like one of my friends said, na if you're ever bored, you just watch Mel for 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, she'll do something that like really make you laugh, not on purpose, or parang just silly things.
It's
So
just
what, like,
entertaining to watch you.
yeah, parang ganon, that's what he was saying. And there was one time, it was a Christmas dinner of managers and directors. So it's a party of like friends and colleagues, but also because you're managers and directors, you have to carry yourself a certain way.
Alta sa
Yeah,
syudad,
or something like that. Tapos, eh, hindi naman ako ganun. I'm not refined at all. So, alam mo yun, ako yung kung may madadapa, ako yon. Kung may ako yon. So, dahil I don't sit still or whatever, I rip the armpit of my blouse. As in, isang dangkal yung punit
Oh
sa
no.
kilikili. And syempre, hindi ko napansin, di ba? So, ang gaslaw-gaslaw ko, ganyan, you're playing games or whatever. Until I think it was a director who pulled me aside and said, sabi niya, may butas yung kilikili mo. Tapos akala ko, sabi niya butas. Di ba pag sinabi mong butas, maliit.
Oo.
Hindi maliit yung pwede mo ipasok yung buo mong
Punit na yun, hindi na siya
ngunit yun,
butas.
hindi siya butas.
But you weren't gonna discuss like word choice naman with this person.
Oo, di ba? Sino pa ba ako, di ba? Sir, sabi mo butas. Hindi naman butas eh. Butas maliit lang eh.
Oh my gosh. At least
So, and it was
malamig,
in
'di
front of
ba?
everyone. So, parang, ay, wala na akong magagawa. Ganun talaga. If there
Oh.
was something to happen, it will happen to me. Tuloy, ako yung I'll be the one na mabubuhusan or maiiputan ng ibon. Ay, ito pa. Ito. Ay, nako. Oh my gosh. We were in Cebu for a work trip. And then we were in IT Park. And maraming pigeons. Tapos,
Yeah.
my friends and I were talking. Tapos sabi ko, we were talking about relationships or something. Tapos sabi ko, you'll be glad to know, never pa ako naiputan. Sabi ko, I'm so happy never pa ako naiputan. Meaning, in referencing to
Like
never
metaphorically.
yeah, haven't been cheated on. And then, lo and behold, in 5 minutes, this bird shits on me. Oh my gosh.
I'm guessing that bird wasn't a fan of
Hello.
your metaphors.
Yes. She's like, really? There you go. Now
Oh
you
Si
have
Mel
it.
yung
no.
personification ng Murphy's Law.
I know.
Oh my gosh, the voice of God
I
confirms.
swear. Alam, so I have a friend who said, sabi niya, galing na buhay ka pa. Sabi niya, how are you still alive? Ay, ay nako, as in, clumsy, and then hindi lang small
Aw.
things. Accidentally creating chlorine gas.
Oh no.
I know, I just, kaya nga sabi
So,
ng friend ko, it's a wonder you're still alive. Yeah,
what
I
if
think
you
so.
guys are just listening to us? That voice of God was VP, who is also equally clumsy. So,
I
kinakabahan
can
ako
relate.
because nasa gitna po nila akong dalawa. Send help. Okay. Well, Mel, as a podcaster, I'm sure that you listen to your fair share of podcasts. So,
Yes.
without preparation, let me introduce our next segment called Spotify Reveal. So, without preparing, we need you to show us your Spotify app and tell us the last three shows that you listened
You
to.
have to show me, tell me how to do that.
Iharap
'Cause
mo lang ganyan. Gaganunin mo lang siya kay.
so if I launch Spotify now, yun ba yun? I
Yeah,
launch
it'll show
Spotify
you the
now.
shows naman that you're subscribed to or that you played.
Okay. So, tama ba? Tama ba? Can I say?
Yeah, ayan.
Yeah.
So tell us three of these shows.
So, sa podcasts, my first one is My Favorite Murder. So, it
Ooh.
is a true crime podcast. It's the first podcast I ever listened to in my
Aw.
life. My Favorite Murder. It's a true crime podcast, and they talk about true crime from dark, creepy neighborhood murders to serial killers
Oh my
to,
gosh.
alam mo yung mga towns of 2,000 people, mga ganon, to large city murders. So that's the first one.
The first one. Number
Yeah.
two.
Number two is The Life Scientific. I know, parang medyo,
Very diverse, ha? Like we went from murder to like
yung The Life Scientific is just, it's answers to random, to science questions. And it's not all serious, like, merong serious, like for example, this one, um, how T cells fight disease. So that's very so scientific. But but at the same time, meron ding mga parang light, like for example, studying fruit flies. Like really, so but it's all science based, and so it's
from the BBC,
compilation.
right? The
Yes,
BBC.
yes, yes.
I
And
love that.
then
So diverse.
yeah, but syempre I don't listen to all. Pero yung mga I
Mm,
find topics that find interested in, that I'm interested in. What am
okay.
I saying? That I
What
find
about the
interesting.
third show?
The third show is your show. Yeah, I hate you
Ba't
actually.
ganun? Naiya ako.
I hate you kasi you make me feel feelings that I don't want to feel. Feelings that I've tried to shove down, hide under the carpet. Yun na nga, sweep under the carpet and all. But you're so good.
Uy,
Um,
grabe siya.
yeah, so Stories is my third show. And it doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes. Ano siya lagi? Ouchie.
Gusto ko
Nakakapikon.
yung I'm somewhere in the middle of my favorite murder and the life scientific. That's my new claim to fame. That's my new Twitter bio.
Yeah,
Somewhere in between my favorite murder and the life
yeah.
scientific.
Those are my
Yeah,
top three.
it's a mix between like discovering something and wanting to murder somebody because of the
Pretty
pain.
much. Pretty
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good. That's a good one.
Well, thank you, Mel. I really appreciate you listening. Nahiya ako talking about it, but I
Yes,
know
well,
that there's so much mutual love here. So
thank you.
okay, we have one more thing for you before we end. Are you
Okay.
ready to take the Eto or Eto challenge?
Okay.
Ayun.
Ito or
Eto o
eto.
eto. So this
Okay.
is quick fire. I'm gonna ask you questions. I'll give you 30 seconds to answer as many as you can.
30
Our current
seconds.
30
Okay.
seconds lang. Our current title holder is VP, who has answered 9 questions. So hopefully you can do better than 9. Okay?
Okay.
Ready?
Okay. May math pa to?
Okay. Wala,
Okay,
promise.
good.
It's mostly closed-ended questions.
Okay, okay.
Okay, the first question is, speeding train is moving at 200
Ano ba?
joke lang. Okay. So, I'll put 30 seconds on the clock. Wait,
Okay.
here's the clock. Okay, let's start. Iiwan mo o iiwan ka?
Oh my God. Iwan mo.
Teka nga. I think we need to do this again. Kasi na pareho tayong natigilan. Ang bigat ka
Bawas sa
agad.
akin 30 seconds.
Ang bigat ka agad. O sige. Let's start over.
Grabe naman.
Okay, 30
Okay.
seconds. Dream vacation destination.
Preach.
Tocino or Tapsilog?
Tapsilog.
Make out or cuddle?
Make out. Hurry!
um, favorite room in your house?
Bedroom.
Kakain or matutulog?
Matutulog.
Ate Guy or Ate V?
Ate Guy.
Eat Bulaga or It's Showtime?
Eat bulaga. Bulaga.
Sa inuman, susuka or susuko?
Oh gosh. Susuka.
Susuka! Okay. So let's
Yes.
see how many you got. I tried to keep count pero na wala ako. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8
Oh my
questions
gosh. One
lang.
short.
I'm so sorry, but you were able to answer 8 questions and we got to know you a little bit more. Thank you for being so forthcoming with that. And I apologize for the iiwan mo or iiwan ka question na throw din ako. Ako din natigilan.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, I'm sure our listeners would love to listen to your show. So before
Yeah.
we go, can you tell us where our viewers and listeners can find the Balut Kiki Project?
Sure. You can find us on the internet. Our website is www.balutkiki.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Um, yung TikTok, inaaral ko pa. Kasi sa akin nakasali. Tapos, hindi ako marunong mag-TikTok.
Aww.
So, there. Um, yes, you can find us on all the social, not all, but the
Nandito siya
top
sa
social
ticker right
media.
now.
Yeah, that's
So,
right. Thank you.
Balut
For
Kiki
Facebook,
Project on
Instagram, and
Instagram.
Twitter, the Balut Kiki Project.
Ayan. So thank you so much, Mel. This has been Neil and Mel for Bunk Book, a Bunk original show. Please follow Bunk's socials. We are at the Bunk PH on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And please let us know who you'd like us to feature next by using hashtag Bunk Book. And join us next time when we get to know the podcaster behind your favorite shows here on Bunk Book. Bye.
Bye.